That's me after describing every book. Man, I hope it's good. Hello friends, my name is Emily, I'm the Bi, and today I'm going to add books to my bookshelf because we're doing a book haul. Okay, so I have 7 books here, and I bought them off of Bookoutlet. One day maybe I'll be an affiliate, or whatever their program is called. Wouldn't that be cool? But until then, the books are just extremely cheap, so I did that. I have been watching a bunch of booktube videos. Shock. A lot of people have been buying books off of their TBRs for videos, and doing it on Bookoutlet. So I was like, I wonder what books off my TBR are on Bookoutlet for very cheap. I honestly think it's only these 7, which is wild. A lot of people have been pulling the list of books from Goodreads that they're going to buy on Bookoutlet or hope to find on Bookoutlet. And while I did not do that, I did this off of my Amazon wish list because I am a chaotic demon. I have been rehauling my Goodreads, so feel free, link down below, to follow me, talk to me, judge me for the books I own, for the books I've read and haven't read that I own, and also for any opinions I have of any of those books. So I pulled my entire Amazon wish list, and these were the only 7 books I'm pretty sure that were on Bookoutlet. Wild but true. And I don't know that much about any of them, which is kind of fun. They're books that I think I added because there's definitely a lot of books in here that came off of trying to find LGBT books, specifically fantasy and sci-fi, because there's just not that many that have queer characters. It's on the come up, but you know, there's just not that many. So a good chunk of these came from that search, and then who knows about the rest. I'm very excited. I'm hoping, I think in February I'm going to do a fairy read. I'll talk more about that later, but I want to do like a sci-fi month, sci-fi fantasy month, so I'm hoping I can get through some of these books then. Don't know when that's gonna be. I think I'm gonna do romance in January, so who knows. First book in this box is Space Opera by Catherine M. Valenti. So, Space Opera is one of those books I have been seeing around all over the place on the internet in terms of like, every time I go on Amazon, they're like, yo, we think you'd like this. And I'm like, well, the cover is pretty, so maybe I would. This book is described as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets Eurovision, which is wild, and I can't wait to read it. Basically, it seems as though it's about any sentient races who want to be included in the galaxy have to compete in a Eurovision style song competition, hence space opera. Love that. And this all started because centuries ago, or a century ago, unsure, there was a big war that happened, and this was the outcome. Love that for us? I don't know. It seems great. The Goodreads people put it on queer shelves, so excited. Can't wait to read it. Eurovision meets Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sounds so fucking perfect. And then of course on the cover we have the tagline, which is, "In space, everyone can hear you sing." Love that. Iconic. What a great reference. The next book in the box is Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the first book in, I don't actually know how long the series is or is going to be, but the series is called The Sixth World. This is about a girl in the future. A climate apocalypse has happened and the US is basically destroyed. This girl named Maggie, who was born on what used to be the Navajo reservation, is kind of wandering around because she is a monster hunter, and it's, I believe, a new adult romance. Very exciting. There is a gay minor character. There's a little gay. I don't think any of the main characters are queer, but it's also own voices, which is extremely exciting, and I can't wait to read it. I might end up, I need to look more into this, but this might be one of the books I read during the romance read that I do. Just kind of throw some sci-fi fantasy into that because I'm probably going to read a lot of contemporary romance, and it would be kind of cool to have not just contemporary in that romance read, I think. All right, the next book is Honor Among Thieves by Rachel Kane and Anne Arguera. This is sci-fi. It is also queer, question mark? My friend put it on their queer shelf on Goodreads, so I trust them and I believe in them. It's about a girl named Zara who elects to stay on Earth when her family moves to Mars, and so she's in New Detroit. She commits a crime that will toss her into prison, but instead of going to prison, she gets brought in to be part of the Honors, who are this elite group of humans selected by these giant sentient spaceships to kind of protect and preserve life, I guess? I don't know, seems wild, very excited. The next book in the box is Charlie Jane Anders' The City in the Middle of the Night, which is a book about a girl named Sophie who lives on a planet called January, which is a dying planet, and she gets exiled from the city that she lives in and sent into the frozen tundra, where she somehow becomes friends with a couple of the monsters that are roaming around, and she joins a ragtag group of people, and I assume that there's some intrigue about like what's really going on in the city and you know, that kind of thing. I don't know that much about it, but I am extremely excited. Charlie Jane Anders I follow on Twitter, and I think I followed her before this book came out, but very excited to see what her writing style is like, other than just like social media stuff. So excited. I've heard this is very good, so into it. Up next is a book that I'm pretty sure is very straight, but it's An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. So I actually don't know how people on BookTube feel about this book, so I bought it because it sounded kind of interesting. I really like the illustrator who does this art. Her name is Charlie Bowater. She's wonderful. All the books she's done covers for, I'm like, wow, I want that, even if I don't want what's inside. This book is fantasy. It's about a girl who has, I don't know, magic powers when she paints. I don't know, she's a painter. And she has a bunch of fairy folk as her kind of patrons, and one of them, named Rook, she paints a portrait of him and, I don't know, paints wariness into his eyes, or I don't know, just something that like he takes great offense to, and like captures a part of him in the painting essentially, because she's committed a crime in their culture, so he like yoinks her and like takes her back, and then some crazy shit happens, and it's enemies to lovers, romance. Love that for me. I'm very excited about it. I know that it's straight, but if it's well written, stoked, you know? The next book was deeply inspired by the fact that I had been playing God of War when I put this book on my list, and it is Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. Can you tell? Okay, so this book, I would say, having not read it, that a fair comparison point would be that the main character, whose name is Razmira, probably has a similar arc to Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because she gets exiled from her village by her father because she is supposed to be the heir to the family dealio, and she is doing her like rite of passage thing, which gets fucked up in some way, and it brings great shame to her and to her family, and so he exiles her and is like, you can have your honor back if you go and kill the god that has been fucking with our village. How do you kill a god? That's the tagline. Love that for me. So that's what this is. I think there is a romance in it. I'm not sure if it really falls into young adult or like more new adult, but excited. Very excited. It's like not quite inspired by a specific myth in Viking lore or in, you know, that kind of mythology, but it is kind of a fun amalgamation of those things that the author found interesting, and I'm just very excited about it. Hope it's good. And then the last book, which I think I might be the most excited about, honestly, because seems wild, is The Sky Is Yours by Chandler Clang Smith. This book has also been recommended to me many times on a lot of things. The cover is gorgeous, and it's a sci-fi fantasy where, you know, there are sky dragons, and I'm just very interested in that. Thank you. It is a book about an Empire Island, I think it's called Empire Island, where a ragtag group of people kind of get kicked out. They're trying to, you know, not die by the two dragons in the sky who are trying to kill everyone, and trying to like, I don't know. It's supposed to have like dark romance stuff. There's supposed to be some like weird sex stuff going on for a little bit of it. Then it has a dark romance. There are, did I mention that there are sci-fi dragons? Very exciting. And that's it. Those are the 7 books that I bought on Bookoutlet. I'm hoping that maybe next time they have more of my books on my TBR, but you know, you can't win everything, I guess. I'm excited to read these. I'm gonna formulate a plan on my reading once I get through the end of the year and kind of figure out what I'm gonna do next. If you want to talk to me, you can do so on Twitter at Emily Mazer. You can follow me on Instagram at thisbisbookshelf, and you can also follow me on Goodreads, Emily Mazer, but links down below for all. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!